Hi guys, welcome to another Jamaican video, a Jamaican living in Germany. Now if you've been following the Jamaican videos, then this background is actually quite familiar to you because I actually made the videos in my apartment. So I live on a student dormitory and I'm actually going to be leaving within the next couple weeks, and I thought, yeah, now is kind of the best time more than ever to make a video about what it's like to actually live as a student in Germany. So today you'll see much more than this background, and I'll give you a little tour of my little apartment. So let's go. So this is pretty much the view that you have when you enter into the apartment. As you see, there's not that much space right there, but let's just quickly turn around here. So this would be the door to the apartment right here, and this right here is actually the electrical box, and I just kind of repurpose it with a few magnets to store different things right there. And right here is the closet. Quite a lot of space actually, so I just kind of use all the compartments as best as I can. And also here's more space, mostly for hanging stuff and whatever. So yeah, that's actually quite a lot of space, storage space right there. So this is my little bathroom, yeah, and of course all the essentials are available. But the coolest thing I find about like the toilets in Germany is that, especially the newer ones, they tend to have this like multifunction. So I mean, for this one would of course have more water in comparison to this one, and that's actually a really cool idea to find, because then you can actually conserve on water. The shower is actually quite spacious for such a small apartment. I mean, it could have been smaller. I've seen smaller before. There's a heater that's integrated in the wall, which I've used maybe once or twice because I don't necessarily see the point of having that. And then maybe, as you might recognize, is that I kind of like red, so that's why I have all this red in my bathroom. So yeah, that's pretty much the bathroom, and let's continue. Taking a few steps back, this would then be the kitchen. Well, it's more a kitchenette actually. So again, here is storage space. That's actually space for a microwave or something, but I don't have one, so I just use it to store stuff. And there's additional storage space right there, and my pots are there, and also additional stuff I store there. And yeah, don't forget your fruits. But the coolest thing I find about this apartment, well, one of the coolest things, is that there is an induction stove. So yeah, all electric, you turn it on, and then you can select which one that you want to turn on, and then you can select like what level it should be placed at, and you can even lock it, and you can even like set a timer for it. So actually quite good. And of course you can also pull this out for the ventilation, like 2 different speeds, which is actually quite decent, I'd say. And the refrigerator is right here. So yeah, my fridge is empty because yeah, I'm moving out, so why should I have a lot of things in my fridge? But more or less ample space. And then here is also like a little freezer as well. So kind of more or less everything that a student needs, like a little kitchen and a refrigerator and stuff. So yeah, everything is there. Alright, so this is like the first half of the apartment. So the bathroom is there, closet is there, kitchen is here. Like everything within this little, I don't think this is actually more than maybe 2-3 meters. It's actually a really small space, but it's actually a functional use of the space, I must say. So this is the first half, and now over to the second half, so time to turn around. So this is the second half. This is my working space where I do my student stuff, and then the bed is right here. And yeah, that's pretty much what is in this space. Open up. I have a beautiful view of this white wall. That's all that I have in front of me. So if I want to have like a view outside, then I pretty much need to turn this way. Something that I find really cool about windows in Germany is that you have like multiple ways that you can open them. Well, it's just 2 ways. So of course the normal way would be like you just open it like this. But then you also have an additional option where you can do it like this. So it's like partially open, like you can get some air coming inside and so on. And I find that to be like really, really good. And actually, this is how I sleep in the nights. So even on the coldest night in winter, my window is like open like that, and in summer then I just sleep with the windows open like this, because for me it's just like way too warm. Okay, so this is my desk. Nothing really fancy about it, but this chair is actually quite cool. I think they had in mind that you could actually eat right here. So after you'd have cooked, then you could actually eat right here. I think that's why they actually chose this particular chair. I have never ever eaten here because, yeah, why? So I just normally do everything right here. So this is my space for working, for eating, like whatever. This is where it all happens, apart from when I use my bed as a sofa. And so while you're here, you can also check out my channel. There's some like other videos about life in Germany and traveling across the world and stuff. Check it out, subscribe to the channel to keep updated with all that's happening. One of the things that amazes me about this apartment to this very day is where they actually place the heater. In physics, I learned that hot air rises, but I guess these guys kind of had a better idea, I don't know. But this panel right here, that's where the heater is. I don't find it to be very practical, because then what happens is that here is like super warm, but then down here is gonna be really cold. But I mean, it doesn't really bother me that much because I barely use a heater anyways. Yeah, so this is more or less the last part of the room. So the bed is right here, and then above me I have a bunch of shelves that I've kind of used to store like a bunch of memorabilia and whatever stuff. This is my bed, doubles up as also my couch. Like sometimes if I'm watching something, then I might just like put it on the screen and I can watch it there, or also where I eat. Yeah, everything happens in this bed, I must confess. What's also cool about this bed is that they also made it that you can actually store stuff right here. So like there I have like a bunch of like bags and whatever stuff, which is a very cool idea because again, it's a small apartment, so you kind of also need space to store whatever, and they thought about these things. So yeah, kudos. Like here, there's also additional storage. I use it to store my shoes, and I think that's what it was intended for anyways. And then I also have like these little boxes to store things that I kind of need to access on a regular basis. But what I find cool about what they've done here with like these shelves is that you can actually move them around. So like all these notches here, you can take these things and you can put them wherever you want. So it gives you a bit of flexibility in terms of how you can organize like these shelves. There's not much you can actually personalize in this room. Most of the things, they can't be moved. The only thing that can be moved right is my table. Everything else is, yeah, it stays where it is pretty much. So this is the wall that I use as a background for my videos because it's kind of practical. I like to just put the camera there, and at least I have flexibility and I can organize things here to kind of make it look as best as it possibly can. So here I just have a bunch of medals, like from different marathons or half marathons that I've done. Like I'm really into running, so yeah, I'm proud of these medals. And here are more souvenirs, different key rings from different countries across the world and whatever. The control for the heater that's in the ceiling is right here, and like also practical that they decided to put both switches here. So you have the switch like for this light here and also the light for right above me. And on this side, just some photos. Like I have my my picture from like my bachelor days and stuff. I have no idea why I decided to bring this to Germany, but it's here anyways. So that's my travel map right there. So the ones that are scratched off are of course the ones that I've been to. Like I started with Russia, but yeah, that's gonna take some time to finish. Like here for example, I have like different notes like from across the world, like lots of different countries. I think most of them are actually Asian countries though. And the funny thing, oh, it's like 100 Jamaican dollars. The interesting thing about like all this money right here is that it's not even more than 20 euros. I think I've shown everything that's worth showing. For the most part, I find it to be okay. It's a small space, and as a student, I don't necessarily think you need a lot of space anyways, because you're kind of either sleeping or you should be just working on stuff for the university. It would have been cool if you had more space, like to at least have friends over and stuff. But even that's okay, because I've also had friends, maybe maximum just one additional person. So again, the bed doubles as a sofa, and then there's also the table and the chair right there. So yeah, for one additional person that's okay, and I guess maybe 3 persons would probably be a crowd in this small apartment. I also do couch surfing, so I host people in my apartment, people that are traveling and stuff that need a place to crash. I host them, and I've hosted maybe at least 4 or 5 people, or even more, I think, in this little apartment. So what I would do is that I have an air mattress, and then I just put it right next to the table, and that's where they would sleep. Like a lot of them stayed maybe like for one night or 2 nights. Now for people that stayed like longer periods, like 3 or more nights, I actually put the air mattress next to the wall, and then the table was like facing the window, so they could more or less have like a dedicated space for the time that they were here. I paid just 260 euros for this, which is a pretty good price, because then that includes everything. So electricity, internet, heating, water, all those things are included. The only thing that I own in the apartment are the additional stuff. I mean, everything else is actually a part of the apartment, so it's a furnished apartment. The apartments were designed a bit different, so these are renovated apartments. Before, you would have a bathroom within the apartment, but then you'd share a kitchen with like people on the floor. I found that to be good in that you could actually meet people and interact with them and stuff. But then the problem is that the kitchen was like super messy. It's like, yeah, people didn't care, and everything was just, yeah, it was disgusting. And so I think that's kind of the good thing about this configuration, is that you have everything and you keep it how you want it to be kept. The disadvantage though with this type of setup, these self-contained apartments, is that you don't necessarily have that social aspect. Because to be honest, I've been living here for years and I don't know any of my neighbors. Like, I think I've just seen 1 or 2 of them, like occasionally, like maybe while they were opening their doors or coming out or something. But like to have a conversation with them or anything like that, that has never happened. Thank you so much for taking a tour of my apartment. And this is pretty much how I live as a student in Germany. A lot of other student dorms tend to more or less be similar, for example with the sharing of the kitchen, or you have the contained apartments and so on. This is my student apartment, but then of course, like a lot of students, what they would do is that they would rent somewhere off campus, like not the student dorm, where most times what that would be is that you'd be sharing the kitchen with like a few other people that live there, so maybe 2, 3, 4, like it goes up depending on the configuration and so on. And yeah, that's also cool, because then most times I guess those apartments tend to be much bigger. They might even be cheaper, because then you're sharing a lot of things. I will definitely miss this little apartment. I mean, I've had like some really cool memories here. Yeah, I guess it's normal that whenever you're leaving somewhere that you've been living for a while, then you know, you feel like you're leaving the memories behind and so on. So yeah, time to move on to the next phase. So that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed the tour and that you didn't feel too claustrophobic, and see you in the next Jamaican video. Lights out.